Greetings, comic friends. I have a bit of a pickup issue, a pickup video for you today. So if you are following me on Instagram, which if you're not, what are you doing? Follow me on Instagram, Titan Comic Pressing LLC. I did post that I bought some books. So there is a city not far away from my city that has a comic shop and a used toy store. It's like a vintage toy store, which is kind of cool. Like the whole thing is just, it's a pretty big place. Anyway, so my city has a number of comic shops, 4 or 5, somewhere around there. But there's another city that's a little bit smaller than mine. It's about 45 minutes away. That, as far as I know, I think it only now has one comic shop. And it's a really, really good shop. So I like to go there every once in a while. And when I'm there, I hit up the toy store as well. And this comic shop, it's great. They have reasonable prices. I spoke with the owner for a while. We were just kind of talking about the market and things like that, and the type of collector that we are, and how there's too much focus on these key issues and stuff like that. And none of people care about like actually getting runs and buying things to actually read them, because that's what they're for. But anyway, we connected. It was a good little conversation. I had a good trip there. Obviously you could see as the stack that's all from one place. So I figured I'd go over that. Nothing, no any one huge thing, but some good stuff. I mostly went to fill runs. I'm kind of out of the key issue market right now because things are crazy, like stupid crazy, as I'm sure many of you know. Things I think are going for more than what they're actually worth, and I don't want to pay more than what something is actually worth. But it is what it is. The bubble will burst at some point. I feel that it's coming. And prices will get back down to something more reasonable, and then I'll get back in. But until then, I refuse to pay astronomical prices for things that are not worth it. So, what did we end up with? So first is kind of the smallest thing. This is Marvel Team Up number 9. I have a full run of Marvel Team Up, but I do have a number of issues that are flagged for, this is in garbage shape, you need to get it replaced. So they had a number 9 to replace my busted up number 9, and it was fairly cheap and definitely in better condition than the one that I have. So I was like, oh, I'll pick that up. I picked up Tales of Suspense number 96. Not a key issue. It's just, I really like this cover. I think it kind of falls into the category of classic cover, but I just think it's a really, really cool cap cover. And I think this guy, he has stuff priced really reasonable, and because I got so much stuff, he gave me a pretty good deal. So I couldn't really say no to this for the price that it was at and the condition it's in. I'll probably send this in to get graded, just because it's not super high grade. It's probably 6, 7, somewhere around there, but it's such a beautiful cover. I love it. So nice. I picked up 4 issues of Transformers. Getting into the later issues, these are starting to not be cheap, but I need them for the run. So 52, and then 62, 63, and 64. So 4 more issues of Transformers to mark off. So good stuff there. Picked up some Tales to Astonish. Where do I want to start? I'll start with this one. So this one's important. This one's real important. So Tales to Astonish number 93. This is the last Tales to Astonish I needed for that has Submariner. So this completes my Submariner run. I have the full volume 1 of Submariner. I was also getting all of the Tales to Astonish because he was in Tales to Astonish with the Hulk from issue 70 through 101. That's a good chunk of Submariner story, so I sort of was counting that as part of the Submariner run. This is the last issue I need. This is one of the harder ones to get. For whatever reason, I understand that this is a great cover, and that's what makes this, I suppose, in high demand. It is not a key in any way. Nothing significant happens. There's no... I mean, it's I guess, Hulk and Silver Surfer, so it's them meeting up, like before Defenders. It is a great cover, but it's pretty much that's it, the cover. And it's in decent shape. It's probably like a 5, maybe 5.5, somewhere around there. Go look this up on eBay. Prices are insane. Way, way higher than they should be. I should know because I recently bid on one and it went for a ridiculous, ridiculous amount. I'm glad I didn't get it because I got this priced at what it actually should be priced at. This is not as good shape as the one I was bidding on. The one... So the one I was bidding on, story time, the one I was bidding on, I think is probably, in reality, maybe, because it was a nice looking copy, maybe should be an $80 book. Maybe. And that's stretching it. And that's still giving it credit for it's this cover, and the cover's in high demand for whatever reason. A book in that copy has been going for about 160. That's a lot. What the book ended up selling for was $270. What are you doing, people? Stop it. Stop it. Buyers that are paying way too much for something that's worth is what's ruining the market. I've talked about this many times, right? When you're bidding on something, don't overbid on something, because when you lose, the next time you have to go to buy that, you've upped the price. You now have to pay much more, and it ruins it for everyone. So it just takes two dum-dums bidding against each other to raise the perceived value of a book. Something that should really, in my opinion, in the normal market, without this bubble going, which is about to burst, at best an $80 book goes for $270. It's ridiculous. So I did not expect to see this at this store, especially at the price it was at. It was a really good price, and he ended up giving me a good discount on it. I could not be happier. This is probably the book I'm most happy about getting, just because it completes that Submariner run. It's done. I love it. All right. So while we're on Tales to Astonish, I've been thinking about this. Do I want to go back further in Tales to Astonish for the Hulk stuff? So I now have Tales to Astonish 70 through 101 to cover all the Submariner stuff. All that stuff is Hulk stuff too. If I just go back 10 more issues, that also is all of the Hulk Tales to Astonish. And they had 3 of those issues. I mean, they had more, but there were some that were they were really kind of beat up. But there were 3 issues I was interested in getting. So I went ahead and got them. So I have Tales to Astonish 61. So this is the second Hulk Tales to Astonish. Number 64. So we got the leader over there. I think the first leader is 62 or 63. And then 69, which is the last issue with Giant Man before Submariner comes in with the Hulk. So 7 more issues of Tales to Astonish to go, not to get all the Hulk stuff. So not too bad. Not too bad. And these were so reasonably priced. I took all the price tags off of them, but I want to say like some of these are like $10-15. And they're probably in 4.0 shape, but $10-15 for... Yeah, I couldn't pass it up. I couldn't pass it up. His prices were so good. If you look this up on eBay and I told you what I got this for, you'd be... I was blown away. And I don't feel like I took advantage or anything like that. I feel that I paid what it's actually worth. It's just compared to what things are going in the market now, which are way high. I feel very, very lucky that I got that book at a reasonable price. All right, so then, speaking of Hulk, why would I want to go back for Tales to Astonish Hulks when I'm not getting a Hulk run, right? I'm not getting a Hulk run. But sometimes you find some Hulks and they're good stories and they're at good prices, and then you can't say no. So I did add some to the Not a Hulk run, which is the rest of these books. The rest of these books go to the Not a Hulk run. They are of varying conditions. Some of them I was just like there's some books in here that it was like they were beat up, but it was like $2. Like to check something off a list, even if I find something better in the future to replace it with, to be able to check it off the list for $2-3, yeah, I'll do it. And when it comes down to it, some of those I might not replace. Some of them I might. So like one of them that I got was the 103. So the Incredible Hulk Volume 1 starts at 102, right? That's when Tales to Astonish ends on 101, and then it turns into the Incredible Hulk at 102. So 103 is the second issue. This is not a super great copy. It looks like there was a sticker there that got torn off. Like, it is beat up. But it was a Hulk 103 that I bought for $7.50. I can't say no to it. I can't say no. It checks it off the list. $7.50 for a Hulk 103. That's yeah, I'll do it. But this one I do want to get replaced. I do want a nicer one. But for now, like, that's fine. Maybe it never gets replaced, right? Maybe I never find a really good deal on one, so it never gets replaced. But I have that slot filled in the... Not that I'm filling slots because I'm not getting a Hulk run, but I have a 103. And then some of them were, again, they're like Bronze Age issues that weren't anything important. Like, I can deal with a 4045 copy of this nothing sort of issue just to read it. So what all, let me move these guys over here. What all do we end up with for the Not a Hulk run? It's good stuff. And again, these ranged from, like I said, $2 to, I think the most expensive one was like a $60 book, because it was a high grade semi-key. But that's what's nice about the Hulk run. There's not a lot of keys in it. I mean, there's a 181, but I have that. There are still some keys that I need, but I think after this is 39 Hulk books. I think there's 20 more issues that if I were getting a Hulk run, there are 20 more issues I would need to buy to do that. That includes some bangers. The 180 and the 182 I need, and the one, I can't remember, the first Doc Samson I need, and then the king size Hulk, and that's just because it's the iconic cover. But other than that, there's no real like major key issues. There's that Rocket Raccoon issue, I suppose, but whatever. All right, so what do we end up with? We got the 103, and these are all like low numbers. It's a lot of numbers, but it hits some really low numbers. I got 107, Mandarin there. 108, and like some of these are in great shape. Some of these are in really great shape. 111. 112, 114. That's Sandman. That Sandman costume is just goofy. I don't know how that ever happened. 116. 117. Like, look how sharp some of these are. And again, like, I don't need some of these books in this condition, but they were priced so well. And don't get me wrong, like, they added up. This was not a cheap day. They added up. But I couldn't let them go. I couldn't let them go. 121. I bought every Hulk book they had that I didn't have. I mean, I had to do it because it was just, and they all come in Mylars. Like, come on. 123. Most of them came in Mylars. There's a handful that didn't because they were just kind of out in the normal stock. But 128. So battling versus the Avengers. 129. And here's also something I did, and I don't usually do this. I usually really don't like dates, whether it be written in ink, pencil, or stamped. When I'm getting some of these older, especially like Silver Age issues, to put together in a sequential form that's not a run, I need to loosen up on that a little bit, and I did. And it was tough as I was doing it. I was like, can I do it? I'm glad that I did it. I still don't want them on my key issues, but on this sort of stuff, it's fine. 130, 131. See a date there again, there in the K. Iron Man issue. 132. This is beat up, right? This is pretty beat up. There's that's taken out. It's in rough shape, but it's 132. It's a fairly low number, and like it cost me like $4, so whatever. 134, 137, 138. Got Goofy Sandman there. 140, 143. At last, Doctor Doom. You've been waiting for it. Hulk versus Doctor Doom. 145. 147. 150. Start making some more room. 151. 154. 156, Hulk v. Hulk. 159, so an Abomination cover. 160 with Tiger Shark. That's such a cool cover. 164. 166. 168. So I think this was the most expensive out of the lot because it's a high grade, and this is the first Betty Ross as in her Harpy form. Which, if you're reading Immortal Hulk now, she is back in that Harpy form. She's red, but it's her Harpy form. This is the first appearance of that Harpy form, which I actually didn't know went back this far. It's kind of cool, but it's a really nice copy of that. I probably didn't need this in this high grade, but I was getting such a good deal that I was like, yeah, just add it to it. There's a hair in this one. That's what that is. 172, Juggernaut and Hulk, shoulder to shoulder. Cool. 176. 177, get some Warlock issues. 178. 179. 184. 185. 186. 198. We have Man-Thing appearance. Super fun. And then 214, which I believe is the first appearance of the Jack of Hearts. And this is in a fairly high grade. Yeah, I think, I was at the double check, but I think this is the first Jack of Hearts. So, little minor key there. So all in all, 39 Hulk issues to put together next to other Hulk issues that where there seem to be fewer and fewer gaps. But yeah, like I said, each individual book was a good deal, but when it comes down to it, there's about 39 Hulk books, these older books, the Tales of Suspense and the Transformers. Those I think were a little. I mean, those are overpriced just because it's not that shop's fault. I don't think those books should be as much as they are, but they are what they are. So, like I said, I was nickel and dime to death. I was $10 and $15 and $20 to death, in those general range for most of these. But like that for an individual book, some of these books to be that, like, I couldn't say no. I can't imagine they would have lasted long. They wouldn't be back. They wouldn't be there if I went back later. I wouldn't be able to find these books for that price point probably ever again. Even in pre-bubble times, these were some good prices. So I had to bite the bullet. I had to do it. It sucked. It hurt. So yeah. So that was the comic shop. And then I was like, man, maybe I should. I have to spend that much. I was like, I probably shouldn't go to this toy store, but I'm in the town. I don't go there very often. I should go check it out. And I went there specifically to look for Migos, as I'm kind of getting into collecting Migos and away from collecting key comics because it's insane. And man, I need to go to this city more often. They had some good stuff at good prices. So first of all, I got a Spider-Man. I have a Spider-Man, but he's broken. So I wanted to get a replacement Spider-Man, and this one's in really good shape. It's a first issue. It's a Type 1, so it's got the metal, you can see metal pins there. And yeah, he was good. These were all really good prices. It's a different shop and they're really good prices. And it's like there's some of the Migos are tough to repair, where you can find like replacement parts for them. But things like where Spider-Man, where his hand is actually colored differently, it's not colored like normal, like flesh colored Migos. It can make it tough for some of these. So I got him. I got a Green Goblin complete, which is very tough to get complete. Boots, not so tough to get complete with Boots because these things, like, I mean, you kind of have to try to get them off. So, but his bomb satchel, getting one of these with the bomb satchel is not cheap usually, or it's hard to find. Now he's got some problems. He's got some color rubbed off on his hat there. But from the front, he presents very well. And for the price he was, forget about it. Along with that is Lizard, another one of the higher priced Migos. It's with him, it's his jacket. It's hard to find him with his jacket, and when you do find his jacket, it's super frayed. This is in great shape. So, interestingly enough, with the comic that Tales to Astonish 93, I was watching an auction for that and didn't get it because it went too high, and thankfully I didn't get it because I found that copy for a more reasonable price. I was also bidding on these two that I didn't win because they went for stupid prices. And I think I ended up getting these each for about half of what those auctions went for. I was really happy. I was really happy to see these complete, in great shape. This lizard is in better shape than the one that I saw on eBay because its robe lab jacket was all in tatters, and the Green Goblin didn't have the satchel. This one does. So not only was he cheaper, but he was actually complete. Good deal. Also, if you remember from my last TGIW, at one of my comic shops, I was about to buy Neptunian from Star Trek. They had one of those. The one I was looking at the other comic shop, the hands were repro. These are original. And its knee was busted out. This one is all nice with tight joints. So I ended up getting my Neptunian anyway. And all complete, original, and in good shape. So four new little buddies to add to my Mego collection. Lizard, Neptunian, Goblin, and a really nice Type 1 Spider-Man. Like, he's really nice. I felt really bad, like being the Spider-Man fan that I am and not having a Spider-Man to display seems stupid. So I was really happy to see him there. His back buttons, this is the first thing to go. This button is so, like, there's so much strain on the thread in there that it's very hard to find, or it's very common to see that button on the back of Megos ripped, because Goblin's got it too. You can see it's straining, but they're all intact and nice and tight. So super happy with those. Again, the prices for them were what they are. Were good. Doesn't mean they're cheap, but it was like I couldn't say no. The prices were so good, I couldn't say no. So it was not a cheap trip. I was not expecting to spend that much because I wasn't expecting for those places to have so much that I needed at such good prices that I couldn't leave them. I couldn't leave them. So it hurt, but I pulled the Band-Aid off. I just did it, and I'm happy that I did. It was so much. I went, through my list of Hulk books that I don't have and got to cross a bunch off or delete them from the spreadsheet or whatever. Now I got to integrate them into the. It's fun. It's worth it. It was worth it. It was. They were all good choices. And I made some good connections. I talked with the guy in the comic shop for a while, and we talked for a good half hour, 45 minutes about stuff, and I chatted with the guy at the toy shop as well. He was just really nice. He's like, "Why Migos? Why are you getting into Migos?" And I talked about just getting away from key comics, and I think Migos are just a cool piece of toy history as sort of the kind of earlier first superhero. And then also there's different properties that I really like. Obviously I like Marvel, I like superheroes, I like Planet of the Apes, like Star Trek. They have a lot of properties that are just really properties I really like, and they're so cool. They're like superhero dolls. It's great. Anyway, that's it. Kind of a long video. There's a lot to go over. So let me know what you think. What do you think of the buys that I got? Should I left some on the shelf? Should I not have gotten the beat up copies that might have to get replaced, or was I right to buy them while I could? Yeah, just let me know your general thoughts. Love to hear them, and I'll get back to you. So do that, and like and subscribe and notification bell, all that. And of course, don't forget to make yours Titan. This video was brought to you by Titan Comic Pressing. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Titan Comic Pressing LLC.